Hey, how you guys doing? This is OV Transport Guy. Yeah, that's right. Coming to you with another video, right? All right, let's get into this. So, I had to make a tough decision today. Will it impact me financially? Not to the greater extent, simply because this situation doesn't seem what the left from right hand knows what it's going to do. So, on some cases, no. But on other cases, during the week, it may, right? So, here it goes. This client that I've had, I'd say about a good month, maybe. Let's just say a good solid month. And I'm not going to say the individual's name, because for the most part, I respect them. You know, they've never done me wrong or anything like that. However, you know, there's some things that you got to do business-wise. Well, let me just say this first. If you got to keep things business no matter what. And while it's good to help people, you know, things of that nature, you've meeting a need. But at what point do you say, okay, you know what? Clearly, there's nothing, things is getting much worse. You know, what I'm worth, what I'm doing, you know, it's not really being accounted for. I feel like I'm being taken advantage of. And you can see the writing on the wall as it is of there's possibly danger that's approaching, you know, in terms of your business, time wasted. And so here's the thing that we all got to come to the conclusion to. Yes, when we're doing entrepreneur business work, our biggest deal is to meet a need, right? We have something that we can do that nobody else has, right? Sure, all right. However, at the same time, but you got to be able to, you know, conduct your business even though you're meeting specific needs, you know. And here's the thing, you don't want to beat yourself up. You can't possibly save or rescue anybody, or everybody, I'm sorry. You can't possibly save, rescue, meet needs of every person. There's some people, specifically, you can, but even in that process, there still is a business factor in it. Meaning, okay, I have something that you need, you know, there's something that you need that I have, you know, we can work this together. I can offer it to you, whether it's an item or service, whatever the case is. But you will find that even in that process, course of time, this is why partnerships and businesses a lot of times cannot only last so long, simply because, you know, it could be a number of things. It could be mismanaging. It could be just not getting along. It could be folks have changed, although most cases folks don't really change. They always were a certain way. You just didn't see it because it was either you really didn't know them, you wasn't around them enough, or they hid it until now it's out in the open, you know. But that goes the same thing even with your clients. If your clients is hindering you, if you can see the writing on the wall, if you can see that there's problems, if you can see yourself being taken advantage of, all these processes, you're going to lose money, but more importantly, you're going to lose time. And my situation is quite similar. While I may make decent money to some degree, obviously I value that person's being a partner with them, because that's going to be something that's going to continue, it's going to flow with it. However, I'm losing time, meaning that while I may be doing this, I'm losing other opportunities to expand and grow business and helping out others ultimately, which is the ultimate goal. So if my focus and attention is on this one individual, you know, which is, I can see the writing on the wall that it's not working out. And again, it's one of those conclusions I got to come to where you got to cut your losses. Because when you start losing time, you're not able to really go any further with your business because of individuals. And you can even see that you've got to make wise, informative business. Now, you got to be smart about it because you don't want to just outright be rude about it, but you do need to, let them know, you're going to have to discontinue or offer some other services. You may not necessarily go into the details. You may even have to tell them, I got other areas that's going to interfere, with what you're doing. There's a way of doing it. My advice would be talk to your mentor, talk to somebody else that's had to do that has a calm spirit, and yet still go through business. But you want to make sure you do it the right way when you're cutting your losses. The last thing you want is to butt hurt anybody, right? So that's the thing that you got to consider. It's not always an easy process, but you'll find that if you're losing time and you're not able to expand because of that, that's something you need to consider. So all I'm saying is we all have had it or we're going to have, and don't beat yourself up and don't let nobody else beat you up, but you got to let business go because all business is not good business. At the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur. This is how you operate. And you make too little of yourself if you're just taking every call. And I understand this from doing rideshare very well. Not all money is good money. You know what I'm saying? There's some money that's absolutely horrific and horrible, that can lead you somewhere you don't want to be. And you're up there mad and upset. So, my advice is this: cut your losses. If you see loss of time, energy, and obviously your money, those are obviously big areas. We're not in this just because we want to volunteer. We're in this because it's a business, because we have something to offer and we just sell what we're offering, right? So every man's worth their wages. And if you continue to do something that's draining you, ultimately it will, then you don't really know what you're worth. And that's a bad position to be in. So keep that concept in your mind. OV Transport Guy, I'm signing out. I hope you guys heard my words, and I hope all is well with you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.